So then when did refereeing ever enter your mind as a serious possibility for you?
2001, 2002, I didn't get picked up. I didn't play anywhere. I just come from Israel. I moved to Tampa and I didn't get picked up. And I was working out with a couple of guys, Ty Lue, Chauncey Billups, Jared Jeffries, Al Harrington. All those guys were down at IMG. A lot of guys would show up and just go play, work out during the week, and then take off on the weekends. So being that it was only an hour drive, I would go down and try to play. Bob Delaney was there trying to ref the scrimmages. So he was like, "Hey, Wood, man, I think you might have lost a couple steps. You think about being a ref?" Ah, I don't know about that. And then, sitting at home, like, "Hey, man, I need to go join." I made some phone calls and got in touch with Lee, I think it's Lee Jones at the time. And he told me to go. "Have you ever ref?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, go do some pro-am." So I had to make a decision where to go, New York or LA. So chose LA and ref the Drew, the LA Summer League, and Venice Beach for a month and a half for $20 a game. That was it. And then that fall, I got picked up in the CBA. That was about 2003, 2002,
It's like
2003.
that's a crash course right there, man. Just dropped right into the Drew with
Yep.
so experienced
The
other
old
than
Drew.
playing.
The old Drew. The
Yeah,
original
I
Drew.
know.
The original
I
Drew.
know. Oh man,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine that. I mean, I eased into it, kids games, high school games, men's league before I started doing any of the New York pro-am stuff. So just to go cold right into the Drew, that must have been. Tell me about that. That's amazing.
The Drew, it's challenging. I would say it's very challenging because it's a middle school court and the wooden backboards with the shot clock behind the backboard. So if you're on the wrong side of the floor, you can't see the shot clock. The score at the scores table was the game clock. So it's just sitting right there. And the grill was right in this doorway. So they're grilling outside right in the doorway. Here comes the smoke inside the gym. So that you gotta compete with all that, and then a fight break out outside and it come into the gym. So you got all this stuff going. But
Yeah.
I think the Drew was easier because Venice Beach, you didn't know what you were going to get out at Venice Beach. So,
What kind of league was it? Another pro-am league out in Venice
yeah,
Beach?
they had another league going on at Venice Beach and outside. And,
Nice.
you got all those dynamics with people on their
Yeah.
rollerblades and people playing volleyball. And you got
Yeah.
flashers.
They got there's it's Orchard Beach in the Bronx. That's pretty similar, I would assume. It's right on the beach up there. I worked some games up there. It's good ball, pro leagues. Everybody would make a little appearance through there. You had Rucker Park and all. I never got to work out west because I had all this stuff so close to me, and it's one regret I have is not going out west to work like the Drew and just seeing the league, even just to go see it. Like, never mind referee it. I would love to just sit and watch a game or two. So that's awesome that you got to spend the whole summer out there refereeing it. I'm a little jealous.
I had this guy, Jim Bertolero, walk behind me and go, "Blow your whistle." And put your fist up. As I'm walking and running up and down the court, he was right behind me. "Put your fist up. Blow the whistle. All right, report it." And that's how I learned. So crash. When you say crash course, it was.
So Haywood, when you were at that phase of your career, and you said you went from people rollerblading around and stuff to all of a sudden you're in the CBA. When you joined the NBA, you were the third ex-NBA player to be an NBA official. So not a lot of pro players doing what you were doing. I wonder if that made it harder, if it made it easier, if it made it both. Did you feel there were preconceptions people had about you because you were a former pro player getting into this craft? Do you feel like that was helpful? Do you feel like it created additional obstacles for you? How was that from your perspective?
I'd say it was both. Because first, people had to find out who I was, because they wouldn't imagine that an NBA player is out here being a referee. So no one really knew me until the game got going and we had to have dialogue. It was a catch-22 for me. I used it when I could, and to my advantage. I tried to, but at the same time, it was hard because the guys are, come on, man, you're a player. I tried to use my know-how and who I was to my advantage as well.